Okay. All right, gents. A skill can get its electricity from two companies, Buzz or Lecky. The graphs below show the cost of electricity per month for each company. If the skill uses X units of electricity from Buzz, it's B of K or B of X I'm in. And if it uses from Lecky, it's LX. So does everyone understand that the BX is the amount of money you pay Buzz and LX is the amount of money you pay Lecky? Is that cool, you guys? Now let me explain what these points mean. Are you ready for this? Okay, let's start off with Lecky. Lecky's the curve. Is everybody happy that Lecky's the curve and Buzz is the straight line? Is that all right? Now, what does the point 0, 0 mean? Can anybody tell me? No units, no charge. Does that make sense? No units, no charge. What does the point 0? Honestly, I have no idea. What does this point here mean? 0, no, not 0.5. No, not 0.50. Oh, it's 0.50. Sorry, I'm wrong. Each block's worth 25, isn't it? Can anybody tell me what 0.50 means? I use no electricity, but they charge me 50 quid anyway. Does everybody see that? No electricity, but they charge me 50 quid anyway. Okay, now let's look what happens. Do you notice that this goes up at the same rate every time? So what's this? 200 units of electricity used, and what's the cost? Anybody tell me? €100. Oh, does everybody see that? 200 units cost us how much? An extra? An extra 50 quid, wasn't it? Would everybody agree that 200 units cost us an extra 50 quid? And let's see if that hangs true. Let's go for 400. What do you reckon 400 is, lads? What's that? 100 and I think that would be what? Yeah, actually, just give me a second with that last one. Oh, I'm slightly wrong with that. That point isn't 200, 100, is it? Can everybody see that? It's slightly above it, isn't it? Does everybody see that? It's not exactly on the crosshair, is it? So I'm gonna have to find one that's exactly on the crosshair, if I can find one. I think that one's exactly on the crosshair, is it? That red one? What point would that red one be? 550. Well done. It is 550. And what is the amount? All right, let's examine this then, lads. Sorry, I was wrong from earlier. Okay. How many extra units did we buy there? Would everybody agree we got 550 units? And how much extra money did we get charged from the start? Would everybody agree €150? I think we can work out our cost of unit per unit now, can't we? If we were to need it, we can work out the cost of unit. How do we do that? 550 units cost us €150 extra. What would one unit be then? Anybody tell me? 150 divided by 550 units costs us €150 extra. What's one unit? Nobody? 150 divided by 550. Yeah, it's about 0.27. So it's about 27 cents a unit. Okay, just explain what the graph does. Now, do you see the way it's the same rate? Do you see the way it's going up at the same rate? That means every unit costs you the same amount. Does that make sense? Every unit costs you the same amount. Can you say that about the curve, the Lecky curve? No. It's more expensive at the start because it's steeper, and then at the end it becomes a lot cheaper. Why? Why does it become a lot cheaper? Because the slope is less extreme. Is that okay? So, I'll give you an example of Lecky, all right? The first 200 units cost you how much, roughly? About 160, okay? The next 100 units cost you how much? Or sorry, the next 200 units cost you how much? 400 and what do you reckon that is? 225. Do you see the way the first 200 units were really expensive? And then the next 200 units were really cheap. Does that make sense? That's why the slope is getting less steep. All right. Oh, this is absolutely painful today. Now, let's find out which company charged a fixed charge. Basically, when you used no electricity, they still wanted money. Which one was it? How'd you know it was Buzz? Yeah, Buzz. €50 charge for 0 units. Is that okay? €50 charge for 0 units. Okay, let's go down then. Write down the domain and range of the function of Buzz. Now, what's the domain, lads? The domain is the x values. What are the x values? 0 to, anybody? What's the last x value it gives us? Would everybody agree it's 0 to 1,000? Okay. So you can say that the domain, if you want, you can write it like that, or you can say the domain is 0 to 1,000. The range is the y values. So what's the y values of the range? Yep. And it goes from 50 all the way up to, what's this? 325? Would you agree with 50 all the way up to 325? Yeah. So it starts off at 50 and it ends at 325. So I say its range is 50 to 325. So that's your lowest price versus your highest price. Range means the outputs. Domain means the inputs. Okay. We all cool with that? Let's drive on. C. Use the graph to estimate the set of values. Don't mind this part. Now, what does this mean? The cost of Buzz is smaller than the cost of Lecky. You want to find out where Buzz is cheaper than Lecky. Does that make sense? Where is Buzz cheaper than Lecky? Let's find out. I'm going to rub all this out for a second. Okay. Buzz is cheaper than Lecky when the graph is underneath it. So look at this one. What point do you think this is? 175. When you use 100 units, they both cost 75 quid. Does that make sense? When you use 800 units, they both cost, what do you reckon that is? About 270? Because that'll be 275. And just beneath that will be 270. Is that okay with you guys? So would you agree they both cost the same at 100 units and 800 units? But underneath, which one's cheaper? Which one's cheaper for 400 units? Which one's cheaper? How do you know Buzz is cheaper? It's underneath, isn't it? So Buzz is cheaper for this range here. If you're using anywhere between 100 to 800 units, Buzz is definitely the cheaper option. Does that make sense? So what you can say is, two ways of doing this. You can say anywhere between 100 to 800 units, Buzz is cheaper. Now, that's how you say it in your own words. They'll want maths language for this. And here's your maths language. 100 is smaller than x is smaller than 800. And what this means is any value of x between 100 and 800, perfect. Buzz will always be cheaper than Lecky. Is that all right? Cool. All right. All right. C part 2 means you should probably take this down if you're here in class. Take it down. Cost of buzz is cheaper. Okay, let's just press yes. Is that okay with you guys? Cost of buzz is cheaper than Lecky from 100 to 800 units. Okay. Find the slope of the graph. No hassle. What's the slope formula again? Big coordinate geometry for you lads. Everybody remember to do that? That's your slope formula from page 18 of your tables. Okay. Slope formula from page 18 of your tables. Okay. And we're going to put in what 2 points are we going to do? Why don't we do, now we need 2 points that are exactly on the crosshairs if we can. So what 2 points would be the best 2 points on that line? I say 0.50 would be a good point, won't it? What would be the other point we should use? You're looking for one that's bang on the line. I think that's pretty good, is it? Yeah, 1,325 is good as well. Will we use that one? All right, let's use 1,325 and 0.50. 0.50, 1,000. Are you taking it down, Jamie? And 325. X1, Y1, X2, Y2. 325, take away 50, divided by 1,000, take away 0, all into the calculator. Three, 2, 5, take away 50. Then 1,000 take away 0. 11 over 40, which is 0.275. Does everybody know what that means? That slope. It means the cost of 1 unit is 0.275 euro. What is 0.275 euro? 27.5 cent. Remember, we roughly said it was 27.27 earlier. Okay. Oh, Delhi. I've sort of answered the part 2 already then, haven't I? The cost of electricity from Buzz is always 27.5 cent. So has everybody got the answer for the next part then? Okay. Cost of electricity from Buzz is always your 27.5 cent.